Hello from the Richland Hills Public Library. I'm Miranda, the youth librarian, and today we are continuing our Star Wars week. Today we are going to be making exploding Death Stars. I'm really excited about this one, y'all. Okay, so for this project, you'll need some plastic wrap. You'll need a bowl. Doesn't have to be glass, that's just the one I happen to have on hand. Vinegar or lemon juice, either one. We're going to try both today and see what happens. You'll need some water. As you can see, I have already put some food coloring in my water to hopefully get a more Death Star color. Didn't exactly turn out that way, but you'll see in a minute, but that's okay. It's all good. Then you'll need some baking soda. Then let's see. Most of the places that I looked at online recommended having like a pipette or a turkey baster or eyedropper or something like that. I don't have any of those things. So we're just going to put our vinegar in a bowl and use a tablespoon to pour it onto our Death Stars. We'll see what happens. Then you'll need a fork or something else to mix up your stuff. All right. Oh, and did I say the cup? This part is relative, depending on how many exploding Death Stars you want to make. So I'm using half a cup right this time, but you can use a whole cup, you can use more, you can use less. It's all kind of, you have to kind of see what works, and I'll show you what I mean as we go. All right, so we're going to take our bowl and get our baking soda in there first. And again, it doesn't have to be a perfect half cup or anything like that. I'm not even sure I have a half cup in this box, but we're going to get as close as we can. Yeah, I think that's it. That's okay. Fortunately, the measurements for this project don't have to be exact. And again, you're going to see why in just a second. Okay, so once you've got your baking soda in there, then the idea is to get the right texture. And that all kind of depends on your water, it depends on the kind of baking soda that you've bought. So really all you have to do is just take your water, pour it in a little bit at a time until you get the texture you're looking for. And I'll show you what texture that is. All right. So as you can see, my water is much more green than Death Star gray. I could not seem to get, no matter what I did, to get a grayish blackish color. I did try. And the consistency, I can say this word, the consistency that you're going for is kind of snowball packing consistency. So I think I'm going to put in just a little bit more. My experience has been that it's better to have them too wet than too dry. Okay. Oh, you know what? I forgot a plate to put them on. That's okay. It is better to have a plate or a bowl or something to put them on, because what you're going to do is you're going to pack them into balls. And then you're going to wrap them in the plastic wrap so that they hold their shape. And then you're going to stick them in the freezer until they're nice and frozen. So let's see if this looks like a really good consistency to me. I think that's pretty perfect. So what we're going to do is go ahead and get our plastic wrap. And I'm only going to make one. And the reason for that is because last night I made a whole bunch more, and those are the ones that we're going to test our experiments on, since they've already been sitting in the freezer frozen for a while. But I did want to show you the process of making them so that you would be aware of how to do it yourself. Okay, so we have our plastic wrap, and here comes the fun part. Now you get to make your snowball, your Death Star. This can be as big as you want it to be. The important part is that it packs together well enough to hold its shape so that you can put it into your plastic wrap. All right, so that seems pretty good to me. I guess I could make it a little bit bigger since I have leftover. But as you can see, half a cup of baking soda probably makes 2 decent-sized Death Stars. All right, so once you've got your Death Star, and take it into your plastic wrap, and then just wrap it up. And then you can set them loose into your freezer Or you can set them on a plate or something and then just leave them all to be frozen. And then once they're frozen, they will come out looking like this. As you can see, I have a whole bunch more Death Stars here. That's because the first time that I made these, I made them using a cup of baking soda. All right, so we're gonna get them all out onto our plate. As you can see, the plastic wrap unwraps really well. They're really cold. I've actually never done this project frozen before, so I'm really excited to see what the differences are. Usually I just let them dry. All right, so here's our little mini Death Star over here. Okay, so now we have our Death Stars, so we're going to use some lemon and some vinegar and see what happens. Get my vinegar poured into my bowl. Okay. So let's try the vinegar first. Let's do this one. And there it goes. I think you probably just have to... And then of course, while you're doing your Death Star explosion, you have to use all your famous lines like, "That's no moon." Because what fun is it if you don't do that? Oh, I can feel it like popping off of the... There it goes. Okay, I've never used the lemon juice. Let's try the lemon juice. Oh, I think that fizzes more. Maybe it's my imagination. Nice. So if you can't stand the smell of vinegar, like me, you can use lemon juice just as effectively. And then, let's see. Let's break one open. Will it break open? No, they're too frozen solid. So you just have to keep using your vinegar and your lemon juice to kind of melt away at them. See if I can get more than one going at a time. Look at that. I love the sound they make. That's wonderful. So there you go, exploding Death Stars. They are super fun to make. Lots of fun to get messy with. And then I would say, just based on my own experience, like I said, this is the first time I've done something as an experiment like this frozen. I would say if you can manage to just wrap them up and set them aside and let them dry out as opposed to freezing them, when they're not frozen, again, from past experience, they break up a lot better and then you get a lot more foaming. And unfortunately with the frozen ones, that's not really happening. But that's okay. That's okay. That's what experimenting is all about. Lesson learned. Now we know. For next time. All right. And you can, from home, you can experiment both ways. You can try putting some in the freezer and leaving some out to dry and see which one foams up the most. And if you do that and you test that experiment, please comment on Facebook or on Instagram and let us know which one you liked better. Okay? All right. Thank you for coming today. I hope you had fun. Enjoy making your exploding Death Stars.